This is another unemployment crisis, and expats have to be aware because this is crazy. Meta, a part of the Magnificent Seven. Now, if you're unaware of the Magnificent Seven, these are the top tech companies that are in the S&P 500. The NASDAQ follows these companies, and so these are the most profitable companies. Meta, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, all of those guys like that. But Meta's doing pretty good. I mean, their stock prices have gone up, but despite their stock prices going up, they're actually about to let go of 10% of their workforce. As you can imagine, that 10% of their workforce actually makes up approximately 8,000 jobs across the board, and it's pouring instead $100 billion into AI infrastructure. So they could be getting rid of some of the software engineers, some of their coders, some of their marketing and sales team. I mean, they are getting rid of people out the wazoo, okay? Like, it's looking a little crazy out here. And here's something that I know, being a tech entrepreneur of 10 years, getting my clients collectively over $31.9 million to date in revenue, and then working with these tech companies, some of these leading AI labs. A lot of people don't understand that AI is not only coming for your jobs, but it's coming for the entire future of humanity. See, I've spent a whole lot of time breaking down AI, different LLMs, OpenAI, Gemini, things like that on these tech contracts that pay very, very well. So this is a good thing for freelancers because you're going to have more work, especially if you are used to remote work, you already have your business. But if you are a W-2 employee, this could really shift everything for you. And so you're going to need a new strategy. And that's what we need to talk about today, okay? Because the way that W-2s used to work, oh, friend, that's going out the door. This is not an isolated type of incident. This isn't just happening to Meta. Oracle did the same thing. Amazon's doing the same thing. This is happening across the board. And so you legitimately have to ask yourself the question, okay, as a W-2 employee, as someone that has not been able to find a job, as someone who has been let go from my federal job, as someone that's an entrepreneur that needs to be more innovative when it comes to AI, what is my exit strategy to not be in poverty and debt? What is my strategy to not have to rely on credit card payments? I was listening to a video from somebody yesterday, and she was a brand influencer, but then she pivoted back to corporate marketing, and then they let her go and she was fired, and she did not build her brand simultaneously while she was in corporate America, but now she's back to building her brand because she doesn't have a choice, right? And so the thing that really stuck out, she was like, I was surviving on credit cards as a brand influencer, $36,000 in debt. Whew, listen. This is not the time to put yourself in a bunch of debt. The only debt that you should be acquiring is debt that is in service to your business. Understanding marketing, understanding sales, understanding AI, because again, these events are not isolated and they're not going to stop. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ, which is a compilation of like the biggest tech companies in America as well, is hovering near its all-time highs. So these companies aren't necessarily doing badly like it used to be. You would get laid off if the company had budget cuts and they're about to go out of service or they're about to go out of business. But in the AI revolution, it's like you're hitting all-time highs. The CEO wants a raise. The executives want a raise. So let's get rid of all the regular people, the regular workers down below who do not need this job because we are about to invest $100 billion in AI. Now, I wonder what that's going to look like for Meta, for Facebook. I'm not sure what that's going to look like for them. Maybe their workflows or all the ads that you see or some of their partnerships, their agreements are going to be managed by an AI with one or two humans that are dictating how that AI functions. But no matter how they decide to use AI in their companies, here's the thing. Companies are going to become much more lean, a lot more automated. If you don't know how to install automations, you're already behind. This brings us to VIP days and workshops that we have coming up, okay? As a 10-year marketing firm that works with tech companies, I have seen behind the scenes of these companies that have 10 million in venture funding, well, then they're now worth 350 million. That's just one example of one of my clients that I picked up in April. And I'm telling you, when I look behind the scenes, most people in our community and most Americans in general are using AI all wrong. They're using it to prompt and say, oh, create this idea of what my house should look like, or create these captions, or create. That is not the best work that AI can do. AI is best at data analysis and presenting to you deep reports that would otherwise take you 3 months to do. If you want to know how to do those reports for yourself, for other businesses, if you want to know how my retention marketing firm is signing clients in all seasons, and you want those same marketing strategies, check out the enrollment guide link in the description. Go to www.tiffygwrites.ai or go to journeywithusmovetoafrica.com/services and browse both websites to understand how you can use AI. I'm also going to do a video that's going to be on this channel that you are going to want to watch out for, that's actually breaking down my top 7 AI tools that I've been using behind the scenes since 2022. I've never let anybody know this. I really don't like to let people know my intellectual property, my workflow, my processes, but today I am, because we are in 2026 and the people need it, okay? Because it's very clear that the workplace is not going to go back to what it used to be. You should also know that this is not a total collapse. This is a compression, because when companies have fewer employees, higher margins, they can have higher stock prices, okay? So it's a restructuring signal. But here's why this really, really matters for expats, digital nomads, especially some of you that are on W-2. I've been telling you, I've been outside of America with my family for 6 years, and we knew back in Columbus, Ohio, that we would not step on a plane until our marketing firm was profitable, like profitable for the last 3 to 6 months, like knowing how to get clients, knowing client acquisition, knowing our data, knowing who to hire, knowing what business consulting services to invest in, all of that stuff. So for you as an expat, if you are relying on a W-2, you need to be more innovative. If you're relying on old jobs, if you're thinking, oh, it won't affect me, it won't touch me, that's what everybody thinks. And then if you come here on this YouTube app and you see all of the people that are talking about layoffs, because these companies, let me tell you what they're doing instead. They instead hire businesses like mine, contractors, 1099s. They instead hire consultants and advisors to take over the AI evaluations, to take over the AI marketing, to come in seasonally for 3 to 6 months, for 12 months, for 18 months in some cases. And then that's it. The contract is over. This is business. This is B2B, business to business services, where you are the vendor for a company like Meta, where you're the vendor for somebody like Amazon or small businesses in your town. This is the way that the future is going to be. It's already the way, partially, that the past was. The freelance economy is growing like crazy, but it's also the way of the future. And so it's better if you get on now and you learn it and understand the hard learning curves, because in everything that's worthwhile, there is a hard learning curve. But if you get on it now, you're not going to be behind. Every expat has to understand, drop this in the comments, remote income is less stable if you are relying on a W-2 or a job. Visa pathways tied to your job become riskier, okay? We don't have this problem in our business because we are a business. We're a 10-year-old firm that has actually gotten us residency in Mauritius, Africa, through our marketing and retention firm, right? But in order for you to do and accomplish something like that, they're looking at your bank account, they're looking at your portfolio, your website, they're looking at who you're working with, they're looking at a lot of what we call in corporate marketing, your marketing collateral. All these things matter, okay? It matters how you position yourself in the market. If you're positioning yourself, it matters whether or not you have a website. It matters whether or not that website makes sense to another government and it's something that they want to bring in their country. It requires strategy. This is exactly why we have our services, our VIP days, our system services, and our workshops, okay? I'm even doing a fun speaking engagement soon for AI Unlocked 2026 if you want access to that, because it's going to be a a 3-day summit with myself and 50 other amazing entrepreneurs who have been in business for years globally. Check it out. But you're going to have to look at the community tab. Like, you need to be subscribed. You need to watch this space, come back, type in Journey with Us, go to the community tab so that you can get access to that when it becomes available. Now, countries with high dependency on corporate salaries are fragile. Yes, this is why these countries want self-employed entrepreneurs, want people who have a business. Not every country, but Mauritius does, Sri Lanka does, Thailand does, Singapore does, all these types of countries that care about how quickly their financial services industries grow. They know their prime ideal client persona is somebody that's an innovative entrepreneur, somebody that knows a bit about technology and AI, because if you know about technology and AI, from an American perspective, you're probably about 5 to 10 years ahead of people in these other countries. And so you become that golden nugget that these countries want to invite in and are basically begging to come in and to teach their people, to teach their workforce, or to teach and transform entire industries the way that you may not be able to accomplish as much in the States, because it's already, OpenAI was birthed in the States. Meta was birthed in the States. And so there's nothing new that you're really going to teach. It's really going to be you coming in as a contractor. But when you go international, you can come in and totally transform these industries from the inside out, provided that you match yourself with countries that are saying that they want innovative startup entrepreneurs. So, owning your business, owning your consulting firm, marketing it in public is the difference between the job-based life and the asset-based life, because people don't realize having a business comes with a lot of assets. Okay, you have the ability to have business loans to grow your team. If you're profitable, you have the ability to have actual assets, because unlike a job, a business is an asset that is in your name or is in your company's name, where you can leverage those resources wisely. You can't necessarily do that with a job, right? And so this is also the difference between employment and ownership. You can't pass down your job to your children. I'm sure you'd love to, but you can't. Like when my dad passed away, he could not pass down his corporate America job to me in telecommunications, okay? As much as that would have been the coolest thing. But I can pass down our businesses to our children, put them in a trust, put their names on them, and they divvy it up, and they see who wants to be the main operator, who wants to be the content creation coordinator, who wants to be the HR, the hiring manager for people in Africa or Asia, who wants to be the one that's going to deal with partnerships. This is the ultimate leverage that you need in 2026 and beyond, because 2030 is coming pretty quickly, and it's going to look a lot different. This is also the difference between location dependence and mobility. You are tied to a specific location if you have a W-2, unless your W-2 job is just really, really cool. Typically, they're going to have you on a leash and have you like, hey, we want you to be here. Don't go anywhere else. Some of the time it could be in San Francisco and they don't even want you to live in Columbus, Ohio, okay? So this is the difference between a true freedom-based life and then just working in corporate and enjoying it for a while. I think this is so beautiful to talk about, because when I look at where my parents were and where I went, I always believe that you should be going, like, as an adult who has parents, where your parents were should be the baseline of where you were going in your life. And so I look at what my parents were doing, both college graduates, and my dad worked in corporate America. My mom had a side hustle, a business that she did. And in my life, I look at it as being a global entrepreneur living in Mauritius with my 6 children and my husband, having 2 businesses, and having a business that actually produces residency is actually a real long-term asset that we're going to pass down, especially the way that we're integrating AI, innovation, data from our previous clients, data from what we do in our business. The way that you can actually pass that down and surpass what your parents were able to produce and to do is the ultimate leverage. That I think that's the ultimate measure of success. And it's an audit that you have to perform. And if you feel like you're not there yet, it's not too late. Like, I'm 30 years old. It's literally not too late, but you do need to get started early. Even if you're 40, it's not too late, but you have to make some tough decisions. You have to make some radical decisions. You have to make some decisions that you have not made before, because future you, the you that you need to be and that you want to be, would not make the same decisions as the past you that got you where you are today. So let this be the day that you choose to make better decisions for your entire legacy. For our family, that also looked like leaving America, because we knew something crazy was coming. It just ended up that it was a lot of crazy things, from C-19 to the hyper super inflation to the tech layoffs to now with the wars and all of these things. It's just, now you have to also deal with AI. And so we look back like, wow, I am so glad I left America behind for that exact reason. The goal is not for you to panic, but it is for you to get radical and reposition your entire lifestyle. This is where income diversification comes into play. Having an online skill, and when I say an online skill, I do not mean an entry level one. Like, have an entire project that you are putting into AI, that you are articulating. And yeah, it may require 60 hours of work from you. It may require you having to, not hang out as much, not see as many people, and really be diligent about what you're doing. But on the other side of that is the ultimate freedom that you are going to need and want, and is going to be so rare in 2030 and beyond. And then, of course, you also have access, once you accomplish this, to geographic optionality. Like, I literally live on an island that most people have never heard of, and most humans on earth will never even experience in their lifetimes. Like, I really pause at that every day, because it's absolutely crazy. It's raining on the island right now, but I literally live in Mauritius, Africa, a type of paradise island that most humans will never, ever experience. It's such a blessing. And then lastly, this is the difference between systems and salary. Salaries were great. Pensions were great in the 1970s and the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. But we are coming into the 2030s. And what worked in the last phase is not going to work in this phase. Now, if you want to follow more of my work, or you want to see more of my teachings, follow the Introvert Marketer podcast, or follow me on Instagram at Tiffy G Writes. Read the resources down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay innovative.